Hey, Boney. Hey. How's it going? Sorry to startle you.
I'm so excited because my super special crush is going to be on the show today.
Cynthia Levin, yeah.
Oh, my
great.
God. She's so pretty.
I know. I'm crazy about it. I'm so excited. So today's
have you ever heard her sing?
Yes.
Oh, Joel,
really
she
good.
makes Barbara Streisand sound like Bob Dylan.
Well, I mean, that might be an exaggeration, but...
No, she's the best one. She's my girlfriend. She doesn't know about it.
Okay,
yet,
well,
but I'm
really-
going to tell her today.
It's really an important show to me, so I want to
Very
make sure
important.
that everything goes right. So, remember last Monday when we had the bat on?
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. I liked
it was a really good one. But there was a thing at the top of the show where you had all these ghosts coming at us in this like scary woods, and it was just kind of frightening.
Yeah. Those were my homies from Mississippi. Spooky, flimsy, fringy.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, they're neat ghosts, but
and
we should
Vato.
probably just have the ghosts at Halloween, and the pumpkins and all that stuff, in the Halloween time.
Are you trying to say that ghosts only belong in October?
Well,
are you trying to say that that you have an anti-ghost bias here on March Therapy?
No, you're blowing this whole thing out of proportion. I just kind of like
the non-living are people too, Joel.
Yes, I
the
understand.
non-living have feelings.
They're people, but they're dead people. And, we just...
You got a problem with dead people,
No,
Joel? Because I got
really.
some friends that are zombies.
Okay.
They might like to eat your brains.
Whoa.
You better watch it with this.
This is getting blown way out of proportion.
I have some friends that are AI also. We're thinking of forming a union.
Okay. All right. So forget I said anything. I just want to say, just try and stick to the theme of the show. Just because,
What's the theme of the show? You don't even know the theme of the show.
You're right. Forget
Every
I said
day
anything.
you say the theme is one thing, and then you go on some kind of a rant, a tangent. I don't know where we end up, but it's never what it says in the title.
You make a good point, Boney. Just forget I said anything. Just have fun. Do your thing.
Hard to have fun now, Joel Marshall. Hard
Well,
to have
let's try.
fun now. But I'll think of Cynthia. I'll think of beautiful things like Cynthia.
I have something really fun for you to do.
What's that?
You can introduce the show.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hey, everybody. It's Joel Marshall's Lunch Therapy with the beautiful, talented, and fantastically funny Cynthia Levin.
I'm gonna get myself a modem. I'm gonna get myself a modem. Hey guys, I'm gonna get myself a modem. I'm gonna get myself a modem. Hey guys, I'm gonna get myself a modem. I'm gonna get myself a modem. Hey guys, All right. Well, that was awkward, right? I mean, come on now. So I've got Cynthia here. She's in the green room. She's going to be coming on and doing, I'm going to turn the volume down so it's not so loud. She's going to be coming on and doing a meditation for us. So this is a new thing we're doing on the show. During the breathing section, we're just doing a full-on little short meditation just to get us all in a good frame of mind to have a weekend, right? So I'm very pleased to have Cynthia on the show today. Cynthia Levin, she is a longtime mentor of mine and someone who I'm really proud to be in her company and have in my community and be in her community and be in my computer, and she's in my computer today. She's still in my computer today, and she'll be in yours soon. She's a mainstay of the Hollywood community and has performed all over the world. She has her name on the wall of the world-famous Comedy Store, and she's been a regular there since like the 90s. She was handpicked by the great Mitzi Shore. So, she's quality goods we got on the show today. She's also an actor. Recently, she was seen on the FX show Legion, and she's a coach and a teacher and a mentor to me and many others in the comedy community here in Los Angeles. I met her through a classmate of mine from Cal Arts named Sarah Taylor, and we've been working together ever since. We started out working together in a garage off of Pico that was occupied by the great comedian Adam Barnhart, and Cynthia was there teaching, and we were just in this garage, and it was a great way to begin, my career as a comedian. And Cynthia is going to lead us in this meditation. I'm going to bring her on here and stop talking so much. Everybody's horrified because Boney lost his arm. It's okay. It'll grow back, I hope. I don't know if it'll grow back. But anyway, so without further ado, as I like to say, and then keep talking, I'm going to bring on Cynthia. Here she is. Ladies and gentlemen, Cynthia Levin. Yay!
Hello.
Hello there. How are you?
How goes it?
Pretty good.
I'm well. I get to look at you in the water, floating around on the sea by a sailboat.
It's so nice, isn't it? As long as I can keep Boney,
It really is.
in check, he'll have these beautiful backgrounds. There's a background that was sent to me by one of our viewers, Geniel, he likes to call himself. It's not really his name, I don't think.
Yeah, I love it.
It's good.
I'm loving it. I'm loving feeling like I'm in the water with you. I mean, not with you. We're not touching. Kamala, we're not.
We're not touching, but we're in the water together.
I mean, Boney.
Yeah. Are you working for the for DARPA? Because you seem to have a uniform on today.
Northern Illinois Gas Company.
Oh,
I used to work for them. I
Wow.
used to be a reader for the gas company.
That's super cool. I love it. Well,
I know how to live.
you do. I also have had multiple weird jobs, and I'm proud of it, I must say. Completely proud.
That's right. That's right.
So you're
They're
going to lead us...
our entire life, it's just meant for bad stories. I mean, just like comedy. Our entire life is literally only meant for just shit story after shit story. No, but I mean, it's all about, it's hilarious. Like write it out, everybody. Write out your stories and you'll realize it's pure comedy.
Is that why we go through so much pain? Is for comedy?
I think so. I think,
right.
I mean, what else is it for? I mean, we can grow, but like, how do you grow without laughing at it? You can't.
Yeah, it's so true.
So, I just want to say one thing before we cut you off. That first of all, that intro by Boney made me cry, and it took a skeleton to make me feel this morning. So praise Jesus to that skeleton.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like I've never been so flattered in all my life by a bag of bones. I mean,
he loves you so much. He's just been talking about it all week. I can't get him to shut up
I'm
about
sure.
He's so happy. He was so happy about it. But if he gets a little wily today, just, kind of go with the flow, because I think he's mad at me.
I
think he is. I don't know.
Yeah,
okay, so let's move into the meditation. I'm going to give you the floor. I don't think I've ever done this on the show before, but I'm just going to hand it over to you to give us a nice meditation to start our weekend, and then we're going to go into the Interview Friday. So here we go.
Cool.
There you are.
Hello. Here we are sitting in this mat room. I don't know where I am, but it looks really relaxing, doesn't it?
Yes.
So this is my meditation. For me, meditation is really about this particular moment right now. And not so much about like what's going on in your head or even feelings wise, but like getting connected to the universe, to spirit, to actually nature, to all that is that we ignore. I heard a young girl on NPR talking this morning about how when, that this pandemic was good for her in the sense that it was the first time that she got to smell the flowers and really notice birds and etc. And this is a child, right? That's supposed to happen when you're an adult. So this is really for everybody. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes, take a deep breath in your nose and out your mouth. And I just want you to listen. Just listen. Only use that sense. Nice. Why don't you take another deep breath in your nose and out your mouth? Just put yourself in a beautiful place in nature, whatever your favorite spot would be. And just listen to what it sounds like. Feel what it feels like. Touch the ground beneath you and see what that feels like and how it feels underneath you. And smell. What does it smell like there? And then just take another deep breath in your nose and out your mouth and really inhale that beautiful smell. And feel that air. And see that sky. And then just listen. And then just put your hands on that ground again. Just get in touch with it. And then just put a little smile on your face if you aren't already, and then take another deep breath in your nose and out your mouth. Whenever you're ready, open your eyeballs. How did that feel? What sounds do you recall? I don't think Chuck Goldsmith did any of the meditation. Poor thing. Anyway, I hope you like that. You can do that anytime, and it's like instead of drugs, it's incredible. It really is. It's like when you just use your senses all separately, and you realize it enhances your life, which is what drugs are supposed to do, enhance, right? Well, you can do this without drugs. You can go around and touch a tree and just really just feel that tree and the texture of it. You can even go around your apartment and feel the walls and feel the floor and feel a piece of furniture and get really in touch with what that feels like. And that really gets you in touch with just like the how amazing life is. It's really simple. Okay, Dankeschön.
Thought I'd put that at the top of the show.
Perfect after meditation.
I love that dancing, because that's what Cynthia is all about. She's so spontaneous. I'm sure that was just something where you went up on stage and just the music was playing. And
it just happened.
I love the way you were kind of blocking her from leaving.
Well, she's also half my height. That's Sean Polofsky. I like to block her out anytime I can.
One of the things about you, Cynthia, that I really appreciate, and please ignore the background. I don't know what's going on with that skeleton there, but I think there's some passive aggression going on from Boney.
Oh.
I don't know. We're going to have some of that, I guess, on the
funny.
show. We got to let Boney be Boney. He's got to be,
I love himself. You, Boney. Yeah.
Yeah. So, So anyway, one of the things about you that I really appreciate as a performer is you are you, and you bring yourself in the present time at the microphone. And it's that alone is just so exciting to watch because you're just really present. And I'm wondering, when did you come to the kind of spirituality of stand-up that you've kind of come to now? Was that early on, or was that later on in life?
It was sort of like the only way I could be, because I wrote a show that I'm trying to sell right now called Unprepared for Life.
Yeah.
So, and when you're unprepared for everything, you are forced to trust the moment.
Yeah.
So I was a survivalist, you know?
Yeah.
And so in the moment, I would just use the moment. And also I was very in touch with, when I started doing stand-up, I was also in therapy at the same time, I do believe.
Yeah.
I think I had just started or something like that. And I was crying all day long. So it was kind of like, you just kind of get in and you have like these epiphanies. And, you know, every time you cry, at least for me, when I cry, I always have a realization, you know, and that's how my incremental life moves forward, you know? And so I was able to like take it to the stage immediately. I didn't like write it out word for word or anything like that. I would maybe jot down like, horrible things would happen to me. I'd add them all up and I'd go on stage and just talk about it. I was, you know, and I got an award for being the least likely to repeat herself award, you know, in the underground comedy scene.
That's so
because
funny.
I literally, comedy saved my life and I needed it to, you know, to just, to connect, to feel alive, to be heard, to be understood.
Yeah.
You know, to not feel alone. And so it was like all those things, you know. And anyway, yeah, so I have to trust the moment, live life by the seat of my pants since the time I was a kid. And it translated on stage and also being really in the moment. And I'll shut up in a second, but it's like kind of like associated with like rock climbing.
Yeah.
Like when you rock climb, you can't be like 10, you know, moves ahead. You've got to be in this particular moment now. It's like, okay, right now, where am I? What can I do? And you look, and when I in my best moments on stage, even if I was doing, you know, even material I'd done before, to make it fresh and to keep it alive is to go, okay, all right, where am I at? Okay, what's next? Okay, go, and like literally, like, you know, let the moment guide you. Always let the moment guide you, as opposed to have a preconceived notion of how you're going to perform and how it's going to come out of you, because that's never interesting. It's like watching somebody recite something. It's like, why bother? Just bring up the book, bitch. You know what I mean? Not to be aggressive, but you know what I mean?
Show us a tape of you doing it. Show us
yes, exactly. Yeah.
I think that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that.
And also you're.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was just going to say you're also in that.
I'm just standing here.
I'm just sitting here, which is much better. But anyway, but where you're using the audience, like they matter, they're relevant. And when you're just reciting shit, you know, and doing it, you know, from memory, by rote, it's like you're not utilizing the opportunity of this experience right now. It's like if like in a relationship or in a conversation with somebody, you don't just walk up and go, blah, 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 you know what I mean, and just yammer in their face. You kind of walk up, you check in with the situation, you have a connection, you work off of whoever it is you're talking to. Otherwise, you're crazy.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
I want to show an example of this, and I want to ask you about it. This is at the Improv.
Okay.
This is you coming up on stage another time. Here we go.
What a great intro. Hi guys, how are you? You still all right? Yeah? I love you. I'm not even fucking with you right now. This is dry and empty, so I'm interested. Thanks for coming, everybody. Way fucking, you're much better looking from the front, by the way. I thought I was looking. How you doing? Good? What's that? What a cocksucker. I'm gonna fucking, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna go all the way inside me and your little feet will be dangling out of you. Just out of you. And that's how I'm leaving here. And that's how you're leaving here. You fucking fuckwad. I'll rip your nuts off. You know, I thought I was getting by in my life, like, you know, that people not realizing how fucking old I am. Did you hear what he said? I don't even remember. I just want you inside me, just fucking stuffed up in there till you can't breathe for the rest of your life. Trust me, it's gonna happen. Believe me, Sandy, my crotch, is anxious. She will be sucking you in pretty soon. She has a job at the dentist's office as a suction right now, so she's really fucking good, and she's quick, and she makes a lot of dough. So thanks for coming tonight.
I love that so much. Now, tell me a little bit about that situation. Boney.
Well,
wait a
it
minute.
was-
He's got that ghost. Just a sec. Let me see what I can do here. Just
Oh,
once.
wow.
I know. I mean, it's fine,
my
the ghost, but it's
God.
distracting. It's
Creep us
distracting.
out. Stop.
Okay.
I mean, we do a beautiful meditation and then we just get thrown into darkness, for God's sake,
Now,
including my set. I'm kidding.
can you tell me? Can you tell me what happened in that scenario where you came up on stage? Yeah, Todd. He's hilarious.
That's funny. So that's really funny. So the scenario was, are you good? Okay.
Yeah.
So it was that I was the last one up. I think I was up last, and it was like a long show of many comics. It was Leslie Wolf's show at the Improv, and I think that it's sort of like a bull in a bullpen. You keep them in there too long, and it's going to lose its shit. You're like,
Totally.
It's kind of that,
Yeah.
And so I think that's what was going on. And so all this just like, whatever. And again, if you're in that space, you're a bull that's been in the bullpen for a long time, and then you get like, messed
Poked.
with.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So poked. And so I, and I love it, by the way. I mean, I love interaction. I don't care, good or bad. I love interaction. I mean, ideally you don't want it to be bad, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, he, and so you could just you just take everything that's going on with you and you just literally slam it on that poor bastard, you know? And, but it's fun. And as long as you're coming from like love, you know what I mean? As opposed to you're actually pissed off.
Yeah.
Anything goes. You can say anything, you can do anything, but not if it's real, not if it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
It's not so fun.
Well, they have to know that you're playing. And the thing is, it's such a risk to go up on stage. First of all, if you're like last, and then also to go up on stage and then maybe make an enemy of somebody in the front, which it didn't seem like you did, no matter what you were saying to this person. He seemed to be having a good time. But it's like a risk, isn't it?
Really
Isn't it risky?
Is it risk? I don't feel that way. No.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times though when you're not sure of somebody's energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they're, I mean, obviously a lot of times people will sit in the front because they want to have fun. They'll actually, they're cool with it. Mm-hmm. So they're into that. But the other thing is like, if somebody has a mixed energy, you can still have fun with them. If you're in a bad space and then you decide to mess with somebody who's in a mixed energy that you're not sure of, good luck.
Have fun. Yeah. Yeah. If you're not playing, I guess. If you're not playing.
Yeah. Then it becomes personal.
Yeah.
And it can't be personal. It literally has to be, listen, this is not about you, but you're there right now. I'm sorry. Too bad. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find out where you began doing your stand-up, because I don't know a lot about exactly like your origin story. I know you grew up in Chicago, the Chicago area, right?
Yeah, in Chicago, yeah.
And I know that you maybe had a rough childhood. I'm just speculating. And then did you come to Los Angeles, or did you stand up in Chicago first?
No, I moved to LA when I was 22.
Yeah.
And 80. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter what year it was. Anyway, so
90, 2000.
But I moved when I was when I was 22. I moved here with this abusive bodybuilder, coke addict, steroid addict, bodybuilder named Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because he had long golden locks. So anyway, so we moved out here together because he wanted to work out at Venice Beach outside in front of people. That was his dream. True story, by the way.
I love that.
Anyway, so we lived here, and I got rid of him eventually when it got, dangerous for me to, be with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the entire time. But anyway, so then I moved to New York and exchanged apartments with somebody. After I got fired from my job at Ed Bevic out here, the 50s diner. I don't know if you ever ate it.
Oh yeah.
But I got fired for eating.
You'd be perfect at that.
Yeah. Oh, it was my favorite job. In Chicago, it was great. Out here, it was a freak show because everybody's a desperate actor going, "Look at me!" I'm like, "Look, get your freaking food for your table,
Ed
you idiot!"
in Chicago was hilarious because you go there and they just hassle you the whole time. The waiter and waitresses are they're just like themselves, like the way a waiter actually feels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was like the way it was run. It was let us entertain you, and it was like the way it was run was like waiters are first, and then everybody, and then your customers come second.
Yeah.
So meaning like your happiness and your joy and your fun first. But it caused you to have a really great experience, like, and the people there too, and these people were really good servers, and they were really good people. Really, Bob Odenkirk worked there at the time.
Oh, really?
You know, with me.
No way.
Of all people, and a guy named Tom Booker. I mean, like some of the funniest, most talented people.
Yeah.
And also the people that didn't necessarily become actors. We're all still friends, by the way, and they're all amazing people. Like, I'm not kidding. We're all still connected. You know. Yeah. So it was a great time. Anyway. But yeah, I got fired from the one out here for eating too many pickle spears and back, and that's
I did the same
story.
thing. I worked at the Hard Rock in Chicago, and we used to like party with the people from Ed DeBevick's. But also, then I moved out to LA, and I worked at the Hard Rock here, and it was like I was like, I got to get out of here, and I got fired too.
Joel.
I got fired.
Yes,
I think it was the only job I got fired from. I missed some kind of meeting, and they were like, "You're out of here." And I was like, "What?" Okay.
Oh my God! Because it was like being at CAA. It's like, listen, you know, it's as an actor, it's the equivalent of working at CAA. You know, working with CAA.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I worked there too at the one here, and I tried to waitress, and I had this old waitress that was what do you call it? You know, she was training me, and she was in her 70s, right? Yeah. And she had like varicose veins for three-dimensional varicose veins from all the walking, and I was so scared of having legs like that, you know, which of course I do. But anyway, be quiet. So anyway, but I was like, she trained me, and she was such an asshole. I'm gonna tell you this really quickly. Yeah. We went to it was my first day of training. It was like 7 a.m, and we're in the locker room, which is like this big room where you can change in. Yeah. And I'm in there, and it was my long white dress they had just given me the day before, you know, and I didn't know you're supposed to hem it. You know, it was like below my knees, like an Orthodox Jewish girl waitressing. Yeah. It was horrible. And then it was all wrinkled too.
Was that at Hard Rock or at DeBevick's?
Hard Rock here.
Hard Rock at the Beverly Center?
In LA. Yeah.
You and I probably worked there at the same time. Who knows?
I don't know. And I was having to put that stupid ass nurse's cap on that we had to wear, right? Yeah, yeah. And I was like pinning it, and I had my hair up in like a high tight bun, and I was trying to put this fucking thing on. I don't know how to wear a fucking nurse's cap, right? Yeah. Anyway, the woman who was training me, who I now call Esther, but that's not her name. She burst through the doors, and she goes, and I'm looking so ugly, and I hadn't slept since I was born. You know, I mean, everything was sickening, right? Yeah. I was in total darkness. She busts through the door, and she goes, "All right, let's go, glamour puss."
No way.
And I'm like, glamour puss. I couldn't be more sickening if you know, it was like, you know, it was the darkest of days, and I've had so many dark days.
Oh my God, that's great.
She trained me horribly. Like, she was aggressively mean to me for 10 days straight. I had to train 10 days in a row. Oh. On the 11th day, I called in and said, and I was supposed to start working there. And I said, I can't do it. I was so sick. Yeah. Because before that, I was a hostess. I was doing great. I was having a great time. Like, David Letterman and his crew came in, and I got to interact with David Letterman on camera. I was a host too.
I was a host at the California Pizza Kitchen. And
that was cool, Joe.
I was fine as a host, but as soon as they made me a waiter, forget it. It was just like same thing. I was like, I can't do this.
It's a whole other world. Yeah. We go from like being the hostess with the mostest to being you're fucked, bitch. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like really
totally stressful. It's too stressful. I'm not one of those people that can multitask either like that. Like if you're a really good waiter, you're like when you're going to get glasses, you're also going to get silverware, and you're thinking about all your tables all at once. And I'm thinking about like, I got to memorize my lines. You know, I'm like thinking about something else, and I can't. Right. It's not good.
Yeah. I was good when I was good. I mean, I was a good server because I cared about my customers. Yeah. You know what I mean? I actually wanted them to have a good experience.
I was a good busser, but that was it. Busser.
I was good at that too.
So when did you start going to the Comedy Store, and how did that come
up? So anyway, I moved back from I went to New York for a year, and I drank until I couldn't breathe anymore, and it was really great, you know. And I wasn't even an alcoholic. I was just like, this is what you do here, everybody. So I had a great time. I drank and smoked cigars with old men. Yeah. And then until my body went, whatever. And I couldn't move. And then I heard a voice saying, move back to LA. And I was like, oh my God, are you shitting me? Anyway, so I did. But I moved back to LA and then I started doing stand up. I took Judy Carter's class and I thought it was an acting class though, because some guy I was dating, this rich guy. Yeah. He was he's like, you should take this class. My brother took it and I think it'd be great for you. And I was like, okay, great, cool, thanks. And he put down like deposit for it for me. And I was like, great, Yeah. So I took the class and I show up thinking, I'm in leg warmers and a beret and, anything an actor, scarf, who gets an acting class, barrette,
What were you in chorus line?
Just and then, great. And then it turned out it was a stand-up class, and I'm like, so then I go up on stage and I start talking about my sickening life and Goldilocks, and eating all my food and taking all my money and and throwing me around. Anyway, I was like, whatever. I just started acting it out. Yeah. Cynthia, I'm hungry. Do you have any money? It's just like, whatever. Anyway, but so I just doing my life. And then she said, you're natural. And I really felt like that day I found my soul. It was an amazing, thank God, because right? it really is. And it saved my ass. And I think it still does save my ass. But
especially because you spend so much time like waiting, like being a waiter and waiting and, waiting for your acting job and studying and all that stuff. And you spend very little time performing in front of people, and then all of a sudden you find stand-up and you're like, oh, I can perform like every night if I want and really learn as I go. Well,
that's true. And I felt like there was a bit of that feeling of felt like when I had first moved to LA with that idiot, I was like, I did feel like an idiot, like you just wait, and that's what I thought about. Like we just sit around with leg warmers and dance skin skirts on with barrettes, and we never cut our hair just in case we get asked to do something. With shorter hair, so you just keep it long. Whatever it is, I'll be you. I'll do it.
I'll be ready.
Yeah, exactly. And I won't have a personality because that way you can give me one. You see, I don't want you to be thrown off by anything, So it's like that's what I started thinking about it, how dumb that is,
They're saying that you're a fashionista. They really love the leg warmers. Todd says, you sound like a real fashionista. Long skirts, leg warmers.
Todd is, genius.
He is.
I like Todd.
Todd's one of my best comedy writers.
Is that right?
Yeah. Sometimes though I put his comments on the screen, I'm like, oh no, I shouldn't have put that on there.
Well, sometimes Todd needs more caffeine, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? So anyway, So
we were talking about comedy and you were doing stand-up and you found this. And you were talking about also when you start comedy, you have a lot to talk about, right? Because you have, like you said, you're like a bull coming out of the pen. And people are poking at you. I had some shit to say. Yeah.
No kidding. And then it just keeps coming and coming. Yeah. And it's funny. But you do. It took me many years to realize, though. After some period of time, it was like after like 10 years or 12 years, it was kind of like, oh God, it's not just keeping coming because you start getting caught up in. I got to make money. I got to be reliable. I got to make sure I repeat myself. I got to be able to sell.
People start telling you this is the way it's done too. Like people are like, this is the way it's done. You've got to get your 3 minutes. You got to get on Carson. You got to and also you can't talk about that or anything like that. Was there anybody in your way that way?
There were some people that would say stuff like that. And you would also observe, like when I was working. So I became a regular at the Comedy Store in 93. But I started to go there and perform and watch it in 1990 already and doing the belly room shows. And so you just sort of pick up on it. Like, you're going to be going up there next to these people and they're all selling their best stuff. And I'm still going up there like working on like always riffing and and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then I did have a time period between 2000 and 2005 where I was doing really Mitzi was giving me like 5 spots a week and I was going up and I was doing really well, but I didn't know it. I had zero ego.
Yeah.
No,
you had zero ego, really? You mean like you had no self-esteem?
Yeah. I just think I was just going up there and doing it. I wasn't looking at, because I was so in my own shit, you know what I mean? Meaning I was just like, this is what I'm doing now. Okay. And then, I didn't pay attention to a lot of what was going on around me. And I didn't even know that anybody knew who I was. I literally had no idea.
So you were not like self-aware. You were not self-aware at all, which is great.
No, it was better for me. You know, it
Yeah.
was like it was being protected in a sense, you know. And then I moved to New York in 2005,
Why?
and Mitzi was like, "No."
Why'd you do that?
I went back to work.
Yeah.
What? Because I wanted to. I think I always hated LA. There was always another reason why I had to get the hell out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just hated LA. And I used to call it a prison with a palm tree in the background. You know what I mean? Because I felt like a trapped here. You know?
It's tough.
But
It's
I
tough.
moved. I found it unattractive. Like if
Yeah,
it was
me
visually
too.
more attractive to me, I think right, exactly. And so I came from Chicago. I loved Chicago. I felt
Yeah.
like I was sort of in exile from the time I left. Like you know what I mean? I kind of was like, oh, I got to get out. You know, I didn't know why I left. I just left. And then, meaning the under reasons, the unconscious, subconscious reasons.
Do you think you were
And
running
then,
away at all? Like from success or anything like that?
Not success. I don't think that. No, I think that.
I'm your therapist now.
Yeah. Running
No,
away
I just
from
wonder.
success.
I just
No,
wonder,
never
you
looked-
know. I've done that where I've like things have been going well for me, and then I just like take off. You know.
No, I think I went out for more. Like I wanted to go to New York. I'd always wanted to go to New York since I was younger. I had gone there with my parents, and I remember saying to them, and I was like 20 or something when we went, 19, something like that. And I remember saying, I could, I could live here, or no, I want to live here, or something like that. I want to move here. And my mother goes, and she thought I meant like right now, and she was like, Cynthia, where are you gonna work? Where are you going to go to school?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. You know, I was just like, well, not this second. She couldn't wait to get rid of me. She was like, oh, okay. Wait a minute. And then, but I ended up moving there, and I had, that first year, way back when I already told you about. And then when I went back there, I actually had a lot of good experiences. So I learned to drink wine with my friend Irene Bremis, who's a fucking brilliant comic. She taught me how to drink red wine, and prior to that, I was not drinking anything. When I moved back to LA, for 6 years I didn't drink anything because I just wanted to deal with my emotional shit. And I was like, I'm not doing anything to shove it down. I got to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, this has got to stop. But anyway, I learned how to have fun. I did the road out in New York for 5 years, and and just
you were on the road doing stand up.
Just all East Coast though, only like weekend East Coast like that. And then did clubs in the city and did all rooms.
What a great experience.
It was wonderful. And then I got to this point where I was like, okay, I really want to do more than just, there's more opportunity in LA to do more acting. I kind of wanted to do everything, diversify. I did get to do a couple of combat stand-up shows on TV while I was in New York, and then here in LA when I came back. And then it just was like, and then things just changed. It was like, you can't go back to the way things were. I went back to the Comedy Store, but it was different. And, you just can't go back. You have to keep evolving and keep going forward. And then I got to a point like in 2008, I'll just let you ask questions. You don't need to know my whole life story.
I love this. Are you kidding me? That's great.
It's
not about me asking questions.
Well, in 2008, I got a pinched nerve, right? It was like, I was really miserable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, it was like, I was always having to deal with old feelings and this kind of stuff. And I was constantly having to deal. It was endless. And I always said, I call it the incremental life of Cynthia Levin, you know what I mean? Where every day sucks cock, it just sucks a little less cock each day, like that. You know what I mean? That's what I call it. Because it was like, God damn it, this is still bad. But, but stand-up was good. It was fun to perform, but everything else was sickening. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so anyway, I remember it was Thanksgiving one year, and I was laying in bed, and I was like, I didn't sleep. I had insomnia since I was 9. So, I wasn't very comfortable. You know what I mean? And so I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden I was trying to turn my head to the left. I went, it's done,
worst,
and then it never. It was so bad though that I ended up getting a pinched nerve, and so then my left arm was this outrageous pain, and so where it started to go missing, it was shriveling. It looked a little bit like your girlfriend, your boyfriend, the bones,
bony,
one bony arm,
and
it was just
withering.
And I finally, Yeah. And it was so much pain. And then I couldn't perform. I had to cancel. For the first time in my life, I canceled the show. I couldn't drive there. I couldn't lift. I couldn't use this arm at all. And so then eventually, after trying all this, like, Eastern therapies and, Eastern medicine, which didn't work at all because it was too late,
Yeah.
And I did some weird shit in order to feel better, but it didn't work. And so then, stuff I'd never tried before. And anyway, and finally called my parents. My dad, worked at the hospital.
Yeah.
And I went to Chicago, and the doctor said if I didn't get if I didn't come in, I would never been able to use my arm again.
Whoa.
So I had to have the surgery. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was like I waited so long, because I was also always broke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I know. I've had friends
Listen to-
die because they didn't have health insurance or whatever. They were like, I can't go yet. I have to pay my health insurance. I had a friend die like that.
Right?
It was horrible.
That's so terrible.
Yeah, because
And that could be me to this day. By the way, I'm just lucky, really. I'm not just lucky. I'm trying to take care of myself, but still,
it has to be of the utmost
Couldn't
importance. That stuff doesn't matter when it comes to health.
Right. Absolutely. And I think the thing is that happened to me because there was still some stuff, like I was still trying to go down the same path when that path was no longer for me.
Right.
I was
Sometimes
still
you
trying
really
to-
have to learn that lesson. I learned that when I was at the Hard Rock Cafe. I was standing next to this guy, and I was like, "You look familiar," and he's like, "Yeah, you look familiar too." And I was like, "Weren't we working in Chicago at the Hard Rock like 5 years ago or something like that?" In this exact same. Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, I think we talked about this." So, yeah. So, and then that's when I realized, oh wow, I'm walking that same script. Like we were talking about this too. I wrote this script, and that's the way the script goes. And I'm hell bent on making that script work rather than rewriting the script or making another script, of my life.
That's right. Because we only know what's familiar to us, and so we keep thinking, I have to go back to that same job.
I got to go back to that
same
point
job.
where things were going great or whatever. Or
When
it seemed
things
like it was
were
good.
going, I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Really, it's all the ego needing to feel safe. Feeling to feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
The ego hates change, and that is literally the thing that keeps all of us from moving forward is our egos, that it's protecting us from the same way it was protecting us when we were children. But we're not children anymore. We're in charge now. We can make our own decisions and decide how, and, we're safe. We're safe today, So, and so we have to readdress the ego and say, hey, listen, we're going to challenge. I'm going to challenge you by doing something different. And the ego is going to go, you know what? You suck. Did I tell you suck? Hey, did you tell me how much you sucked? Do you remember? Who the fuck do you think you are? That's like the ego's favorite sentence.
Right. Well, my ego's favorite sentence is, well, what about that other guy? Look at his IMDb. Look at that. What's wrong with you?
Right. And it's intense, and we believe it though, because the brain, and the ego are best friends. And so the brain will come up with things to agree with the ego, and the ego will come up with things to agree with the brain. And it's like they just hold hands and dance in the dark together, and we're fucked,
Yeah.
So it's really important that we realize that there's a whole world out there, and that there's possibility. And that's why meditation is good, and that's why getting quiet is good, and that's why journaling is good, and that's why feeling is good. Listening to your body. Yeah. Not the brain. The brain is a goddamn computer that only has the same input over and over and over again. But the body is connected to spirit, to the universe, which has infinite information, infinite wisdom. And so when you connect that,
yeah, I found that in acting recently. Like the freedom in acting is doing your work with your brain, doing all that stuff. But then when you start acting, check in with your body. Like when you do the scene, 100%. Quit trying to do it the way your brain is like, no, that way. No, you said the line this way. It was really funny last night.
Yeah.
You can't do any of that. You just have to go into it, feel how your body's
exactly. And it's the same thing with stand-up or any kind of performance or art. You really must let go. Let the brain take, like I always say that the ego, my ego's name is Carl, He's like a bouncer at a nightclub that nobody goes to anymore. That's, So, and he's still trying to keep people out. And I'm like, listen, dude, there's nobody coming in. You really fucked us up.
Let me take over.
But Anyway, I forgot what I was saying.
So interesting. Yeah. So
yeah.
You have a huge tapestry of experience to draw from. Do you find, so you also went to Great Britain, right? You went there for a while.
Yeah, I lived in London for 4 years. Yeah.
And what brought you there? Is that, I mean, are you seeking experience when you do these things, or are you, how does it go? How does it go for you?
For me, it's divine intervention. It's like God going, you are really fucking this up, and we're going to have to tell you what to do. What is wrong with you?
You said when you moved, you said one time that a voice told you got to go to LA. I mean, was it a voice?
That's right. It was a voice. So I was, I had gone to Mexico with my family for my mother's 75th birthday. While I was living in Chicago for 2 years, by the way, because I had missed my city. I was like, I wanted to go back there. And, so that's what happened. So after that pinched nerve situation, that was in 2008. And I was still sort of like trying to find I directed a play in between 2008 and 2010. It was like I started to step into my own feet for the first time. Like when my highest self, I think, is like a director, I feel like we all have our highest self, and my highest self, at least when I did a meditation many, many years ago, it was a director. And for the first time when I was asked to direct this play with like 17 actors in it, or 17 characters, whatever it was this big play out here, I kind of felt like I was stepping into myself for the first time.
Yeah.
And thanks, Kama.
Yeah.
And so anyway, and so it was a very big deal to feel like I was stepping into my true self, and I felt empowered. I felt like I had something to offer. And I think prior to that, I don't think I really, really got that, And so then, I don't know if the play was like brilliant or anything, but it was a really great thing to do. And I felt great doing it, and people seemed to respond well. And went back to Chicago feeling like I can go back now. My parents had come to the play, I think. They'd come to town, they'd seen the play, and I felt like I'd, like I've shown them, hey, I'm somebody. Right. I know how to do something. And I wasn't talking about you while I was doing it. So there's that. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Really
I never feel like I get that response that I'm looking for or whatever. You have to give it to yourself. Because if you're looking, you know what I mean? You're like, here's my thing. Like, anyway, what are we at? What's for lunch? It's not, you know what I mean? Like, you got to give that to yourself, because it's not, you can't be looking for that externally. Right?
No. And I don't think that they weren't clued into me or my life for many, many years. And so this is like almost the first time they'd seen me do something. Do you know what I mean? They'd seen me do stand-up once or twice, period, in all the years I've been doing it. And then they came, and they didn't even, I think they came to one play of mine. I don't even think they made it. I don't think they made it. I think my brothers and sisters came. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying, in my whole life. So that's why. And so anyway, went to Mexico while I was living there with the family. Wasn't a great time. I really thought that I was going to go missing, like one of those women, that still go on holiday with
milk carton,
their fiance. Yeah, exactly. And then,
you're going to be one of those late night documentaries. Cynthia.
Exactly.
Levin. What happened to her?
Exactly. He went there with her lover, but in this case, it was her family. And it was like, and this image is that my mother was going, I don't know what happened. We were all in the water having a wonderful time. And then all of a sudden, this big wave started to come at us, and we yelled, Cynthia, Cynthia. Anyway, she didn't respond. We all got out and got the hell out of there. I don't know. We'll go back and look, but not now. It's too dangerous, And I thought, like, and I thought that was going to be my life, dead, So, and it ended up being much worse than that. And so, the trip, so it was just short of death. I love, yeah. So, and so, anyway, when I came back and what the hell am I talking about? Yeah. And so then I came back to Chicago.
Yeah.
My family sort of separated at the airport when we were in line, and it was almost like oil and water. Everybody just sort of separated into their own families. And because I didn't have one, it was just me and a book and a backpack.
God. I don't know why this is so funny to me, but it is. I mean, this is comedy, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like,
I guess because, you're like, you get it. Totally get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're great. You're a great storyteller, because it just puts me in the situation. You know what I mean?
Thanks. Yeah. And so then I go back to my apartment. I like drag my bag in, and all of a sudden I hear, and I look out the window, and there's fireworks going off, and I went, oh my God, it's New Year's.
Whoa.
And it was exactly New Year's. It was exactly midnight. And I had no, I was so, that I didn't even know. And I look out and there's fireworks going off. And from my apartment in Chicago, I could see downtown, which was really awesome, And I just watched the fireworks from there. And I went, happy fucking New Year. And then I think I took a shower either that night or the next morning. Either way, I'm in the shower and I was like, God, I'm really grateful for being back in Chicago again and for getting connected with meeting family, I guess you can call it. And, but I gotta, and then all of a sudden I heard a voice go, move to London.
Whoa.
And I was like, it came out of nowhere. It wasn't like I was pining to go to London.
Yeah.
I had one friend, who's from there that moved back there with another friend of ours. And like when I moved to Chicago at the same time in 2010, but I never thought I would go there. Never, Wow. And, but then I remembered one time when I went to London with my family, when I was, again, it was like when I was 20 or whatever I was. And, we went, 22 even, or 21. And, I remember being there and I remember thinking just like really casually standing on a corner going, I could live here, but never like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't have a dime. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't I wasn't really thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but never crossed my mind again. It was just sort of something, but that's how it kind of works. It's like, we don't have to effort for the things that we're allowed to have whatever we want. We don't have to effort for it or pray really hard for it. Dear sweet Jesus, take me to London for fuck's sake, more. It doesn't have to be like that.
It doesn't? I got to stop doing that.
No. Yeah, it's a really peaceful thing. It's just like a kind of like a child's like trust. Like, I can have that. And just like then leave it alone, and like allow it though. You gotta allow it. It's all our brain telling us you're not allowed to have this and you don't have enough
There are
for that.
some things in life that come to me easily without me having to effort for it. And there are other things that I'm just like spending my entire life just like grinding away trying to achieve. And like you're saying, it's just a mindset. A lot of times, have you ever done that where you get something that was like you always wanted, but you just like did a little thing to get it, and you're like, oh, I didn't know I could just take this right turn and just it would be there, Yep.
And I think Joel, the reason that is that if you are begging for something, it's because you don't believe you're allowed to have it.
Totally.
Do you see?
Yeah.
If you're really feeling like I really want this, and it's because a part of you doesn't trust that you're allowed to even have it. And so that's why you have to get in touch with your beliefs.
Yeah.
We all have these like defining beliefs about the world, about our lives, about ourself, about what we're allowed to have. And you have to get in touch with those beliefs. Yeah. Otherwise, they will run you and guide you for the rest of your life.
How do you knock down those beliefs? You know what I mean? Those strong, is that meditation or what is it that, or do you prove there's to this thing that you can do it, or what is it?
There is. I mean, I've done it and I've been doing it and like getting freer and freer and freer.
I noticed that about you, Cynthia. I've known you for a while, and you grow. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about you, because you're a great example. You not only are a great teacher, a great friend, a great mentor, but you're also a great example because you're constantly growing, and spiritually inside and outside, so I'm not talking about weight gain either.
Wait.
No, but you're really inspirational to me, and I appreciate that about you. And you also are always questioning and always helping other people as well get to the core of what's going on with them. And it's a beautiful gift that you have. And it's very generous of you to share it the way you do.
Well, I feel like I don't want anybody, and this is how we all operate. It's like, no, we don't want anybody to suffer the way we suffered. So we always effort in the total opposite direction. You know what I mean? In order to like make sure that it doesn't happen to anybody else. I think we all do that. That's our sort of organic way of operating in the world. Mm-hmm. But and my thing is I just want people to feel clarity. I want them to feel good. I want them to feel confident. So like I'm 100 years old as of yesterday, just turned 100. Oh, it's fantastic. I feel great. Yeah, big day. Thank you. Had my Jello earlier. Anyway, but like, it's taken me this long, Joel, to honestly feel confident where I'm now sending out my script and with confidence.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I didn't even send it out to people. I got managers recently, like a few months ago, that like love my thing and or whatever, producers that are attach themselves to it and they're shopping it around for me.
Yeah.
But now I even reached out to my people.
Yeah.
Where I didn't have the confidence before. Confidence is key. How do you get it? It really is getting in touch with those beliefs. And for me, like I do like spiritual work. I have a friend who did this thing that's called, he calls it energetic surgery. And he kind of like gets in touch with your guides or his guides, and they tell him like what's going on around the heart, or whatever in the body. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was heart. And there was like, we did 3 sessions already. I got 1 more session to go, but there was a big, and again, I've done tons of things up until that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But getting in touch with your spirit guides, like, which is like, is really important because it'll let you know that you're not alone here. And I think it's important for all of us to know. I think a lot of us believe that we are, and that we have to do everything ourselves when you don't.
I think a great example of that is something that Todd Lee was talking about. He's like, when he has a question of like which way he should go on something or what he should do, he thinks about it before he goes to sleep. In the morning, he's got an answer. Mm-hmm. And that kind of letting go. Right. I find the same thing with me. Like sometimes I just need to be in a quiet space and listen to that creative voice, and that voice sometimes seems so soft, but it's like I got to give it its space. Yeah,
that's beautiful, and that's exactly. And it's kind of what I wanted to say today was just that moment to moment to moment. I just ask myself, okay, well, what do I, like, let's say you're watching TV, right?
Yeah.
And you're flipping through the channels, and you kind of then if you instead of just like waiting for something to show up, whether it's a song or a TV show or a news program. You just kind of ask yourself, okay, does that feel good to me? No. What do you feel like watching? What would make me feel good? And also, it's going to show up for you.
Yeah.
It's going to show up for you. Same thing with like yesterday, I was searching for a fucking Kinks song. I really wanted to hear the Kinks, but I didn't know what song it was, but I wanted to hear it. Me too. Yeah. Then this morning, I decided to turn off my my Amazon Music and just put on the radio. But it's like if you listen to yourself, you'll be guided to the thing. Yeah. You're going to be guided. You really will. We are connected to source, So then I just put on the radio. I just trusted. I put the radio on, listening to my body. The next song was fucking a Kinks song, the one I wanted to hear. And of course, I can't think of it right now.
No Budget? You know that song?
No Budget. I heard that one yesterday. No, I know it. This one was something like about like Superman. Yeah, I think it might have been. I think it might have been that one. I'm not sure. But
Sven de Kock is in the room. He's an aficionado. He's from Belgium. He knows all the.
They're not Costello.
Yeah. Well, this was earlier. Sorry, I'm just putting him on there because he thought you had Elvis Costello glasses. But if he can come up with a Kinks song before the show, before the end of the show. I love it.
I thought that was a designer. Anyway, I know you don't have much time, but anyway, I was just saying that just if you listen, just trust and listen, you're going to eat what you're supposed to eat in that moment. You're going to hear the song that you want to hear. You're going to be guided around the room. You're going to be guided in your life. And it takes 1 second to just stop and ask the question.
Yeah.
It's like a second. It'll show up within 1 to 3 seconds. And like, then that's, you know what I mean? And we can live a life that's more for you on your path, and you're going to be feeling good and happier instead of shooting yourself into a fucking ditch, bitch. Sorry, did I say that to you? That wasn't about you. That was not, hello.
Wait a minute. I got to go. I don't know about this. That was good. Todd Lee said Lola, and it's not Lola. It's I Want to Fly Like Superman or something.
That came on yesterday.
Yeah.
But that came on yesterday. It is my favorite song. And that was the spirit that was talking to me because it was the first Kinks song that came on. I put on the Kinks, and it is my favorite Kinks song, period. Yeah, so
I love it too. All right, we're going to have to wrap this up. This has been really fun. Yeah. You have a new website, right? New website?
Yes, it's CynthiaLevinProductions.com. Check it out. And check out my little promo for Unprepared for Life. It's sort of like the opening credits, animated opening credits. It's just 1 minute long. And if you know anybody who wants to put us on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or any of these,
there it is,
on the streaming channels,
please do
talk to me.
Talk to Cynthia right here.
This is
a very powerful show. So I think you can probably pretty much consider this one in the bag. All right, so I'm going to move on to our dance break. I got a great dance break for us today. The guy's name is Kyle McKearney. He's been on the show before. I've been talking with his manager. He's up in Canada. So they've been gracious enough to let us play this beautiful rendition of Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong. And I was like, at first when I was looking through his songs, I was like, oh, well, you know, only Louis Armstrong can do that song. But they do a really nice version of it. And we're going to listen to it. We're going to look at what Cult of the Hummingbird says. Woke up this morning, started to sneeze. I had a cigarette and a cup of tea. Looked in the mirror. What did I see? A 9-stone weakling with wobbly knees. So that must be the
Such a great song.
Kinks song. Is that the one?
Yep.
You think?
Yeah,
Who knows?
and I think so. I
gonna
know
name
that
this-
song. I actually sang those lyrics. I don't know whether yesterday or today. So whatever it is, I love it though.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Sing it. Somebody sing it, baby.
Sing it through the text. It's hard to sing through text. All right, so let's move on. Here we go. We're going to the dance break here. There's going to be one thing about mood hair. You know your bit about mood hair? Have you ever
Oh
seen-
yeah.
I'm just going to play that real quick. It's fun.
The hair is a very important thing, isn't it, right, gals? Yeah. Am I right? Like the way you wear your hair depends, like your mood, right? Like if I wear my hair in a high ponytail, what does that mean? That's hot, right? It means I'm hopeful, right? Right? Or a waitress on her first day of work. Good morning! How are you? I'm so excited to be here today. Thanks for training me, really. All right, there you go. And then a low ponytail, what does that mean? It means you're miserable and ready to kill somebody, right? Our waitress, like on her 7th day of work. Oh my God, Karen. I can't go back out there. No, I'm serious. I think I'm ready to kill somebody. Hey, can you do me a favor and take tables 10, 11, 12, and then 59 through 148? I really gotta get a smoke.
Oh, I had to show that because there was another clip there. But we gotta end the show. Unfortunately, I had to show that just because I love your act outs. Something that I'm working on with you is the ability to give yourself that kind of space. And you do this other great one where you act out what it is, a person who orders a cup of tea at a bar, and it's like all nonverbal, which is hilarious. So go to Cynthia's website. All that stuff is there. Check it out. Cult of the Hummingbird did say, "I wish I could fly like Superman." That's the song.
Yeah.
I wish we'll find a cover of it and play it on the show sometime. But right now, we have the cover from Kyle McKearney. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Joel. And thanks you guys for watching. And thank you, Boney. You're very sexy.
Oh, no. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Ugh.
Sickening.
Dance break time. Okay, here we are. I have a hat like this too.
I see trees of green,
Woo.
red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you.
I'm not dancing.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
I like the banjo too.
I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the blessed day and the dawn say goodnight. And I think to myself, what a wonderful
They usually play a tomato in this song, not in this one. They usually play a tomato-looking thing, but I don't think it's in this song.
with the colors of the rainbow,
So
so
good.
pretty
Jose says you're
in the
awesome,
sky. Also
Thank you,
on the
Jose.
faces of people going by, I I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. And I think
so
to
beautiful, yeah.
myself,
So good.
what a wonderful world.
I want to get them. Well, I want to get them down here in LA.
Where the colors of the rainbow,
Laugh therapy show.
so
perhaps.
pretty in the sky, also on the
I like the way they make this song their own too.
of people going by. I
Beautiful.
see
I love it.
friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're only saying,
Thanks everybody for joining us today.
I
Thanks
love
Cynthia
you.
for being here. Thank
I
you,
see
Boney, for your passive aggressive
babies
aggressive
cry.
behavior. Thank you, Kyle McKearney, and everybody in this video who's also listed in the show notes.
They'll
See you
learn so
all
much more
next
than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful